Hey guys, Dr. Morse, Injury Experts. So I have an update here for you for Isiah Pacheco. Unfortunately, he did indeed suffer a significant right lower extremity injury. He fractured his fibula. Now we're going to walk through this. I tweeted about it last night, and unfortunately that ended up being true. This is going to keep him out for 6 to 8 weeks, but let me explain to you why it's going to keep him out, where the injury is likely, why he's going to need surgery, and how this is going to impact the entire Chiefs offense. So the fibula is the small bone on the outside of the leg. So you have the shin here, fibula on the outside, and realistically kind of sits in the middle, and the kneecap is kind of right here. Now what you can see as I rotate is that this fibula meets up with the ankle joint. The problem is if this fractures at here, then it really disrupts the whole ankle joint. If it fractures up here, it's less likely to be concerning. You could put a plate in here or a big rod down the end of it and it does fine. If it's at the ankle joint, that's when we have a lot more problems. Sometimes you can even fracture the other side in addition to this side, and it ends up causing a lot of problems. Now, we don't know if he had any additional ligament damage, because you can also have a syndesmotic or high ankle sprain as well, and that's where this space is. That's where that would be. So if you have both of them, it would be much more concerning. My suspicion is if he ended up doing just an isolated fibula fracture, it's probably going to be more like a Tank Dell from 2023. But if he also happened to also have a high ankle sprain in addition to the fibula fracture, then it's probably going to be closer to Mark Andrews. And that's, for another comparison, Tony Pollard. So my problem with this is he's going to miss at least 6 weeks, potentially up to 8 weeks. He's having surgery, my guess is probably tomorrow. And they're going to put, there's a couple different varieties of what they could fix here. It really just depends on how much is injured and the surgical technique. It's either going to be a plate and screws or a big rod or a couple different nails. Again, it just depends. They kind of look like this if you're looking at the different images. Now, the snowball effect here is pretty substantial. I had Pacheco penciled in as a top 5 back this year. So that being said, he was going to get a ton of volume both on the ground and in the air, as he has been. But unfortunately, now it's going to get split up. So I think Carson Steele is going to take a fair share of the touches, at least rushing attempts. But he has to earn those. He already has 1 fumble so far. And I think we will see even more of a split backfield there. They brought in a Kareem Hunt probably today or tomorrow to see if he's still got anything left to maybe serve as his former role, what I call the McKinnon role. And we still also have P. Ryan there. So this is probably going to be an ugly backfield. We may see a boost in throwing from Mahomes, and maybe this helps Kelsey. Obviously, they just lost Hollywood Brown, not only for a short period of time, but basically for the whole season. So now Rashee Rice is going to be even more heavily targeted, and then Xavier Worthy is also going to get a lot of love. So they still have a loaded offense, but I don't think it's going to be concentrated on one running back. I think it's going to be either 2 or 3, which is a little challenging to kind of figure out fantasy-wise. Unfortunate injury. I think depending on the specifics of it, he may not be 100% at the end at any point this year. He might end up taking him to 2025 before he finally feels 100%. But I don't think he'll probably return until week 9, week 8, 9, somewhere around there. So I would definitely not drop him. But it's unfortunate that this happened to, it's just a weird fluky play, and he fractured this. And now we have to wait a good 6 to 8 weeks before we can see him back. And then even then, he's going to probably take some time to ramp up. If you liked the video, do me a favor, smash a thumbs up, subscribe, and check out some of the other content at theinjuryexperts.com and on YouTube. Take care.